Okay, thank you very much for your introduction. So very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mark from China. And in the morning, we heard a lot about China, people talking about China from different aspects. I'm coming China all the way here to bring you a clear message about graphite electrode and world steel making, short-term and long-term. I'm a man, grew up from the steel industry. From 1991, I worked in the Tianjin CIMM pipe plant there. I worked for 3 years there. I was the project manager. I was in charge of the procurement of graphite electrode from Yuka, 600 millimeter and 450 millimeter. I was in charge of buying the equipment from Comcast, Danili, we are in those days. And then I shifted to the carbon industry. From manufacture to technology to application. I visited many steelworks in the world, but today it's really a pleasure to meet you here to share with you my piece of knowledge about graphite electrode and steel making. If I make something wrong, please, you can criticize me, but don't punish me. Let me start. This title, as a matter of fact, can some way help you if you are willing to enter into China to do business with China. In China, we have 70 million small and medium enterprises. I'm proud to be the vice chairman of this organization, looking after the international cooperation for this organization. This organization is under leadership of National Reform and Development Commission of People's Republic of China. I hope I could be your servant in the future. So I like this. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. There's a big crack between the graphite electrode industry and the steel industry. The light should be done in this way. From the carbon industry worldwide, steel industry worldwide, we should join hands to be the light. This is me always running. After this meeting, I will be going to Krakow and the other places to see that if I'm lucky enough to find a location for my project here. So this is me. This is something not related to the topic today, but this is something I want to bring to you gentlemen and ladies and notice. In China, we have 3 horses, 3 Ma's. Ma is my family name, in English horse. You know Jack Ma. Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba. And in the Western world, you have Amazon. In China, we have Alibaba. And Pony Ma is the founder of Tencent. You are using WhatsApp, but there in China, we use WeChat. WeChat is really, really wonderful. You can use WeChat to pay things, to send photos, documents very fast. And those 2 Ma's, they are very big. They are billionaires. Their business is good. They have grown up for 20 years. This is me, Mark Ma. I'm the founder of the Industrial Internet platform in China, which help industries to do business in a new model, in a new way, in a revolutionary way all over the world. Today is very small, just started. But who knows tomorrow? So this is me. The figure tells you that I'm a steel man. I'm with all of you. I would like to ask you a question. How many of you are from steel plants? Can you raise your hand, please? Steel manufacturers. Who are steel manufacturers? Oh, that's great. That's great. So I know the steel making. I know the demand. I know their good times. I know their hard times. I'm a helper here. All these titles will ensure that when you are dealing with us, you are dealing with trust and confidence and reputation and quality. China is changing. Forgive my poor English. I'm 100% made in China, but I'm trying my best to communicate with you with a civilized language, English. So this is me, 27 years in the steel sector, but today I'm going to talk about the graphite electrode. 25 years. I know everything in this industry. Everybody, every man in China, outside the China equipment, capacity problems, qualities. There are a lot of opportunities. There are also problems. We need to work together to fix those problems in favor of a sustainable development of steel industry as well as a sustainable development of carbon industry. Because you guys have used too much carbon industry in the past. You increase them to zero profit, make them losing money in the past few years. Then suddenly you face a problem last year in 2017. There's no friendly business relationship, no ecosystem really established between the steel sector and the carbon sector. Now, I see it's the era to set up this ecosystem. So I've been given this special award by the China Carbon Association for what? It is me and my organization has correctly predicted the price change in graphite electrode in February last year. We advised CELSA. CELSA followed us, and they are good. And we advised many other companies. Some of them followed us, but some of them, they don't trust us. They think the price will be low, but the price changed from $1,800 to $18,000, and then to $28,000, and then it peaked $35,000. So we are going to talk about 6 main topics. So graphite electrode has become a strategic material. Its energy has become. This has never been treated as a strategic material before 2017. So graphite electrode. So this is the price. This price, you see, is very funny. The beginning of last year, it was here. And then April is here, and May. And the very interesting thing is here. This is November last year. And we understand during this period, as a production decrease in steel in China, there was some kind of stocks. And we advised our buyers worldwide to buy at this moment. They don't trust us. They see the price will go further down here. But 1 week later, 2 weeks later, the price went up again. And this will be the price for this year. This is X works price in China. Will this affect your production? Will this affect the steel production in Europe? Will this affect the steel production in the world? This is a big question mark, very big question mark. And this is the price for the HP grade electrode X works. The curve situation is different from UHP. It stabilized from May last year until now. It's almost stabilized. The price ranging is from 11,000 to 20,000. And we say it's stabilized because last year, from 2,000 to 20,000, 10 times increase in China. India is a beneficiary for this. 2 companies in India, they follow China. They make good margin. Their stocks are very good. This is the normal power graphite electrode price. It's more stable this year as well because the normal power electrode is relying on domestic cokes, the petroleum coke made in China. We are self-sufficient. We are not relying on imports. This is the very number 1 producer, the stock market. And this is stock market for Showa Danko, Tokai, Graphite India, and HEG. Everybody is enjoying, is happy. They make a lot of margin than the steel sector. They make a lot of margin in 1 year than the steel sector in many years. So we have sent different letters at different point when the price changes, before the price changes, to various of our clients. Many of them followed our ideas, and they win. They are beneficiary. Some of them, they did not. They struggled. The main reason. So environmental are the real reason for the reduction in the production of graphite electrode. These are the main area of Chinese graphite electrode producing area. So environment, we say in Europe is very strict, but in China it's more strict. If somebody see that your emission is not good, air or water or is the problem, then the government people will know immediately. They will come to you in half-hour time, tell you shut down one facility, change it, otherwise they will shut down. They will cut off your power, cut off your water. So that's the way the Chinese government is doing now and in the coming 5 years. We need a blue sky, clean water, fresh air as Europe. So this is the Chinese way. People fail to understand why the price has changed so dramatically. This is the reason. This is government power beyond the control of any producers, any enterprises in China, no matter it's Bao Steel, Ma Steel, it doesn't matter. Everybody has to follow suit. And here you see the air pollution is very bad, very bad. So these are the main areas where graphite electrode is made and produced. And there are about 200,000 tons graphite electrode reduction stopped last year. 200,000 tons stopped. This is in China. And outside of China, there are about the same amount of production capacity stopped. And this is the total capacity of the world production excluding China. These guys, they also reduced a lot of their production worldwide. Why? They are not running any profit. They are struggled. They are good guys. But if they are running loss, how can they survive? So this is the second reason why the graphite electrode price went high last year and still very high this year and will continue at a certain range of level of price for the coming many years. This production will recover? No. Stopped. When we talk about Malaysia, when the investment was done in the old days, it was a good idea, but in reality, that is not the right place to produce graphite electrode. So this is the second reason for the increase in the demand of graphite electrode. These induction furnaces were widely used in China from the north to the south, east to the west. Very fast, quick money, the bars, the railroads. So we call it the poor quality steels. The government cracked down all this production. And those owners of these small mills, they make a lot of money. They become billionaire, millionaire. If a man has money and has years of experience in this kind of steel making, is it easy for them to shift from induction furnace production to EAF production? The answer is absolutely yes. Therefore, last year, suddenly, there are about 15 numbers of new electric arc furnaces put into operation this year. And from now on to the end of this year, another 15 numbers of new electric arc furnaces will be put into operation. Before I came into this room, I got a message from somebody in China, very important, and I would like to share it with you. From now on to the end of this year, there will be a new production, there will be a new EAF steel production of 2 million tons in China. 2 million tons means 60,000 tons graphite electrode demand is there waiting for this 2 million ton steel. Do you think this will affect further the world graphite electrode market, the steel cost? Yes. And this is the situation, the needle coke supply. China is not the best producer for needle coke. The best producer is in the Western world and in Japan. They are not giving us sufficient quantity we need. And the needle coke has been given a lot to the environmental vehicle industries, to the EV electrical vehicle industries to make the batteries. So that's why there is a serious shortage worldwide of needle coke. The needle coke price, the beginning of last year was $600. To the middle of last year is $5,000. And now somebody is paying $8,000, but people will tell you, sorry, sir, we are fully booked by the year of 2019. This is the answer. This is the real situation. So China graphite electrode and the world steel making, what will be the relationship? This is a big topic. I just want to share with you the situation here. So 50 years back, the world is producing less than 200 million tons steel. But last year is almost 1.6 billion tons steel. China accounts for 50%. And in this 50%, only 6% is made by EAF. China government has decided to change the economic structure, to change the long steel production to a short steel production. Blast furnace converters into EAF. Therefore, a big portion of the existing long steel production will be transformed to the EAF steel production, which will require a continuous demand of graphite electrode. This is number one. Number two, China is putting a lot of new electric arc furnaces in order to tell the steel industry, hi guys, you are making money by installing more electric arc furnaces rather than by adopting the old way of making steel. China government is doing something, encouraging the steel industry to have a shift from the long process to short process. So this is the situation. I don't think the foreign economists will really understand this situation. So you see here, the top 10 steel producer countries, and those countries I think are very important for the market of graphite electrode. And here also tells you the story. Turkey is very important. And this will tells you the EAF global steel production ratio. I think this will change in the coming 5 years completely, because you will see China has a total change here. So this is another thing you will understand, this EAF production of steel. So this is another thing, and this tells you the situation. The EAF is, the graphite electrode is not only used in EAF. China, EAF relying on three factors. You have scraps, self-sufficient. People argue with me 10 years ago, Dr. Ma, China will never ever be able to supply its own scraps to its EAF. I said that is wrong. See the base, see the foundation. We have 1.4 billion people. India has 1.4, almost same billion people. Our base, economic base, is huge, is vast. And per capita consumption of steel is increasing. And our steel production, when the People's Republic of China was established, that was in 1949, that time is only 10 million tons steel. But now we are producing 800 million tons steel. So scraps now is self-sufficient. We have the sufficient supply of graphite electrode. We have the competitive power. The power is competitive. So these three factors will survive the Chinese electric arc furnace steel industry for long. The cost. When we're talking about this cost, people have different opinions. I think this is really, depending on situation and situation. But from the long run, in China, we understand EAF will be competitive. The owners of the EAF steel mills, they make a lot of money, quick money, a lot of new money. And the graphite electrode is only going to the steel section by 55%. The 45% will go to other industries. So this means the other industry is also fighting for the supply of, fighting for the availability of the graphite electrode. So this is the world situation. This is the China situation. Last year, China has almost 470,000 tons electrical capacity stopped. This figure, there are 21 enterprises stopped, totally production, shut down. 21 enterprises, 473,000 tons stopped. They will not be allowed to reopen, to restart the production. So the export. So China is becoming a main exporter for graphite electrode since the last 10 years. The production, export, domestic sales. China and the other countries. So if China stops supply of electrode, for somehow trade war happened, even it's really stupid for some guy in the North American area, today they still have the anti-dumping duty against the Chinese electrode, whereas they are in great need of graphite electrode. European is very clever. But who knows what will happen as the trade wars, the protectionism and those things happen everywhere in the world. The political tensions, geographical, political, problems. So this is the steel making capacity. So this is very important by 2030. So by 2030, as per the Chinese government long-term view of developing the steel sector, we will increase the electric arc furnace steel production by from 6% to 30%. That means there will probably a 20% increase in the 20% increase in the EAF steel production. So China today is producing about 800 million ton steel. If 30% of this 800 million ton steel will be shifted to EAF, that means China will produce 240 million ton steel by EAF. It results a demand of more than 1 kilograms, one liquid ton steel will consume about 3 kilograms graphite electrode. Let's take this as an average, so you will see the number. So this is the top 20 target area of Chinese export. We see Russia has experienced a fast increase in the graphite electrode demand, which tells us that the steel production in Russia is developing very fast. Russia, Iran, Turkey, Italy, Germany. This area is growing really fast. And I agree with Joe's presentation that the consumption of long products will experience sustainable development, and the consumption rate in China in this aspect will be somewhere around 7 to 8%. China is really the driving force. So the export situation, if you go back to 30 years back, from 1987, when I was a high school student, China export almost zero graphite electrode to the world. China is the main importer of graphite electrode. But if you look after in the past 5 years, 10 years, China is the main export. So the anti-dumping duty cases still there. These are the major export market for Chinese graphite electrode. And China's graphite electrode turmoil impacts the world EAF steel industry. What will be the impact? These are the impacts. And Jose said that you had an increase of cost of $30 per ton as a result of graphite electrode ferroalloy refractories. But as a matter of fact, I think the main factor could be graphite electrode. So these impacts should tell the steel industry a clear idea. From now on, and in the coming days, years, you should change your mentality of doing business, your mentality towards the carbon industry. You should try your best to enter into an open, frank, honest relationship with the carbon manufacturers worldwide. You should be pleased to open your card, to share your data of furnaces, to share the data of the consumptions, to share the data of your prediction of the production in the future. and to enter into long-term business partnership with those carbon manufacturers worldwide. In this case, you will be ensured that you will get supply at a reasonable cost. So problems. This problem is for China. We have too many small carbon producers, inefficient, quality problems, delivery problems, pollution problems. So far, we haven't had anybody in China in the carbon industry is as big as the Western guys. You know, last year there's a very important event happened in the carbon industry worldwide that is Showa Danko had taken over SGL. Showa Danko Tokai today become the #1 graphite electrode producer worldwide. In totality, they are producing about 270,000 tons per year, which is the world #1 as a company. But China, the largest producer, we only are able to produce 100,000 tons in China. So graphite electrode, as a matter of fact, is also a scale economy. So the solution is that to build more production capacity, establish raw material production, and try to produce needle coke yourself, and constructing a centralized platform for raw material procurement and product sales. And the very important thing is that carbon industry should also invest and cooperate with universities and R&D centers to help steelworks to resolve the technical problems in the electric arc furnace, to reduce the consumption of the graphite electrode, to reduce the consumption of the power by upgrading the quality of the graphite electrodes. I think this is something that we are going to do, and this is something that I tell the carbon industry, you should do it. So the solutions. So we as a company, we produce graphite electrode, and we focus on quality. And now we are having a global development program. We want to have our production base in Europe, somewhere in Europe. Taking manufacturers in consideration, we decided we will have this production facility in Europe as well. So currently, we are having 30,000 ton in-house production capacity, having 30,000 ton OEM production capacity. In OEM production capacity, we buy raw materials from the big players outside of China, and we supply to our very good partners. We provide our technology, supervise the production, we finance them. Why we are doing OEM? Because our capacity in China is small. We cannot meet the demand of the market. And we are now also making the 3 important projects. One is the European project. I am the leader of the European project myself, 30,000 tons graphite electrode production. And in China, we are doing 2 important projects as well. One is the raw material project, a 200,000 ton coke project. We will have our own coke. So we are building a production service open ecosystem. This is a platform. This is like the Apple system or Android system. It's an open ecosystem. We welcome anybody from the steel sector, logistics, finance, upstream and downstream to join this platform. We share the information. Yes, today we are small, but we are honest. Yes, we are poor, but we are open. I think honesty is very important. Open is very important. Transparency. So this platform we are now doing with some steel manufacturers in China and also some steel manufacturers outside of China. I will be pleased to hear your comments on this. I will be very happy to see that we can jointly do something for this platform. This will be good for the long-term run of electric arc furnace industry. This will be good for the world. So this is the target. Our target is to produce 220,000 tons graphite electrode and 200,000 tons CPC. This is the target. And this is the physical things that will support the platform. And now we are working very hard here in Europe. We want to have the R&D center in Europe established as well. and the production center as well. So this is the location. Our in-house production is here, 30,000 tons, and we are having the best petroleum coke from the Shujun refinery. Shujun refinery is the China oil, the best refinery. Why that coke is the best? Because the sulfur content is very, very low. It's a really clean oil, which will generate a clean coke. It's the best sweet coke for producing graphite electrode. So in Europe, we are going to do R&D production and to do the quality improvement. Premium quality electrode will be made here to covering the European market, Russian market, Turkey market. So I would like to share with you the production process for the graphite electrode. Yesterday, I had a talk with some gentleman, I forgot the name. He asked me the production circle for graphite electrode. I joked with him. The production of a single piece of graphite electrode production is like a lady to give a birth to a child. You remember this. I hope you remember this. A lady gave a birth to a child. The circle is fixed. You cannot advance it. You cannot delay it. The production of graphite electrode is the same. 9 months, lady gave a birth in 10 months' time, the lady gave birth to a child. From 3 months, 6 months, the graphite electrode production will be from a raw material to a finished product. It takes you 3 months and 6 months. It's fixed. Every process time is fixed. So that is why if there's a shortage of graphite electrode in this month or in this year, you expect a quick production as you do in steel. That's not possible. And to stabilize the production, it takes you 3 to 5 years' time. Yes, you have money, you can put up a plant, but it will take you 5 years, even longer time, to stabilize the production, and you need to give enough time for the end users, for the furnaces, to taste your graphite electrode. So this is a very complicated industry, high-tech industry. So in this area, this is our target. We want to supply to the leading steel manufacturers in this area, not only production, but also logistics. In North American market, we are having our warehousing logistics as well. So we are building a global electric arc furnace cooperation platform. Global EF cooperation platform. It's an open platform. It's free to join, free to get any message, free to do your own things on this platform. So graphite electrode online procurement will be announced October this year. The procurement people can buy graphite electrode maybe online. So this is the big data we are using for building up this platform. We would like to have data from the steel manufacturers. We don't want to know your production secret. We don't want to take your confidential things. We want you to share with us the necessary data that could be used for us to upgrade our production of graphite electrode. We want to produce a tailored product for your furnace with a very clear purpose to bring down your cost. To bring down your cost in graphite electrode production and bring down your cost in power consumption. So we are now almost finished the mathematical model of graphite electrode price prediction. You have LME, you have copper index, you have the coke index, you have the iron index, but there's no index for graphite electrode. The bosses always blame the procurement guy. Hi guys, you haven't done a good job. The price is $10,000, why you bought it at $15,000? Because there's no index. And the boss never say that, oh, you got a good job. The price now is $30,000, you get it done at $10,000. Bosses never do that. So I think this is very important for steel industry as well. So our service centers, so far we are serving more than 200 steel mills in China and outside of China. So this is the new type of graphite electrode ecosystem architecture. So we want the best quality, the low cost. We want to build the robust graphite electrode plant in the world with a new technology, new business model. Robust, considering the low circle of the economy. So this is the situation. Nobody likes it. And we will be here. Graphite electrode production will be a green production. It is a green production. So come to the conclusion. It's a strategic material. It's a strategic material. I know very big guys in steel industry, they have taken a series of actions to secure that they will be able to get sustainable supply of graphite electrodes. This is not a commodity. This is different from scraps. So if you need any help as far as the graphite electrode procurement, quality control, consumption reduction, and the information, I'm there. I'm able to offer you the message. It may not be to your satisfaction, but it's free. So I thank you so much for your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. A lot of questions, starting with Mr. Sharda.
Should I get up or I can speak? Should I stand up or I should speak? Okay. Dr. Ma, you know me for the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I'm Vijay Sharda. I'm the chairman of Sharda Group of Industries from India. We are the only one from India at the moment. I've been in the industry for the last 45 years, and I've been visiting China for the last 18 years. I'm going to be specific. Dr. Ma, first I compliment you. You have given a very specific, English being not your first language, but you spoke so well. But there are certain facts which let me, in the house, everyone should understand. Of the total 1,600 million ton production across the globe, only 25% is produced through the electric arc furnace, 75 to 77% is produced through the BF route. Should we go by the modern technology for producing 400 million ton of steel by the electric arc furnace, you need only 2 million ton of graphite electrode. You don't need more than, because per ton steel production with the ultra in India, the electric arc furnace, they consume between 3 to 4 kg per ton of graphite electrode for every 1 ton of the liquid steel. And as the technology advances, there are the companies, they are working on that. In the future, you operate the arc furnace without the graphite electrode. The technology, the people are working on it very seriously. Because the way the prices in 2017 has jumped from $3,000 to $25,000, and the China was the leader for increasing the price for it. Because more than once you mentioned about the Indian companies, which was not in the right context, because I have known both the companies' management very well. You see, profit is a positive thing. Profit is not a dirty thing, as the market dynamics moves accordingly. Because I have been into the iron ore to steel making. Should you look at between 2001 to 2010, only one sector in the steel who made the money, the mining sector. Iron ore, I did export in the year 2000 to China at $20 CFR, delivered China. And 2008, the same iron ore I exported to China at $250. Look, the profit which increased, and the iron ore is not like graphite electrode, you sell 100 tons or 200 tons, you do in few hundred millions. China itself import over 900 million tons of iron ore in a year. Now the point comes, when you say China will add 2 million ton capacity in the 2019, for adding 2 million ton capacity, you need only 10,000 tons of additional graphite electrode. You don't need 50,000 tons of graphite electrode. Because the per ton consumption is 5 kg. For adding 2 million, you need only 10,000 tons, not 50,000 tons. So we have not to get scared of, but we have to work out a balancing approach, how the graphite electrode prices, because across the globe, the electric arc industry has, because we do have has undergone a very challenging time. The prices have shot up due to the increase in a product of $3,000 per ton has gone to $20,000, $25,000. From China, when we wanted in the month of June, July, August, when we got the offer from the top graphite electrode, they say our offer is valid for 4 hours. You have to remit 50% today, and the moment we have the cargo ready, then balance 50%. I have not come across such type of commercial terms that the offer is valid for 4 hours, and the offer is valid for 4 hours, and the money to be remitted 50% immediately. Nevertheless, it is the dynamics which present. So we have to look into a balancing approach, because I being the active member of World Steel Association, I being the active member of CRC, Southeast Asian Institute, we sit on the apex body of India, Confederation Indian Industry. I'm on the Steel Committee of the Federation Indian Chamber of Commerce. I'm the Managing Committee member of the Federation Indian Mining Industries. So therefore, we have to give a very balancing approach how we overcome this situation. I thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to see you here, my old friend. I think you have raised a very critical question. I hope I could answer to some extent. As far as the price change in China, nobody can operate a price change. Can you hear me now? It's better now? So nobody is able to manage the change of graphite electrode price in China. It's totally a market movement, a supply and demand situation. It's decided by supply and demand. This is number one. And number two, from the long run, the graphite electrode industry will be happy to see that they will be able to meet the demand of the steel manufacturers in quality and in cost. So in this sense, if you expect the situation totally changed in the short term, I will tell you, as far as China is concerned, it will not change. And as far as Europe and America, Japan, India, it will not change either. So the solution for this situation is that the steel manufacturers should have open talk with the carbon manufacturers and to make the carbon industry feel safe from the long-term run. Safe in a sense, they should have reliable, continuous order at a reasonable price. And the carbon industry in China, though they are making a lot of money today, but they are not happy. I'm not happy either, because it's difficult for people to know that 3 years, 5 years later, what will be will the situation go back to the old days? And yes, the answer is no. But still, the carbon industry would like to enter into a friendly and open and frank, business relationship with the steel industry.
Thank you. Michael?
Thank you very much, Dr. Ma. Very interesting. I would like to ask you, we have to remind ourselves that graphite electrodes are also used by the blast furnace route. And what percentage of the total graphite electrodes produced in the world end up in ladle furnaces operated by blast furnace mills?
You are talking about graphite electrode is used in the blast furnace?
No, in the ladle furnace.
Yes, yeah.
In the blast furnace operation.
Yeah.
I would imagine that would be the majority.
As a matter of fact, I can give you a figure like this. You can make a calculation by yourself in this way. The graphite electrode consumption mainly goes to the crude steel making. And there, the average level is 3 kilograms per ton. And in the secondary steel making, in the LF, is ranging from 0.5 to 0.8 kilograms per liquid ton steel. So in this case, you can make the calculation. I'm sorry, I don't have the figure myself now. But I think this way you can get the answers.
Okay, 2 more questions because we are behind the schedule. Peter, and then
I have a question too, please. Why are you confident, Dr. Ma, that you can obtain needle coke? Is capacity rising among needle coke producers, and can you produce it yourself?
Steel industry is really open industry nowadays. The refinery industry is closed. I'm apart from the refinery industry as well. So this is really a very, very sensitive topic. I hope I'm not supposed to give you this answer here. I'm sorry for that, really sorry.
It was the same question as I understand. So, okay, there could be 1 more question because we said 2. Can we have the microphone to the gentleman behind? This is the last question.
Hi, can you clarify what percentage of needle coke production is actually consumed by graphite electrode producers versus lithium-ion battery manufacturers? Because last year, the reason provided by the GE producers was that needle coke prices went up, but they're the dominant buyer. So why would a dominant buyer allow a market to run up by 1,000%?
Yes, I think I can answer you this question. As far as the UHP grade graphite electrode production concerned, 100% needle coke is used for that purpose. And those needle cokes are mainly from the Western world. And the manufacturer of the nipples for graphite electrode is also relying on the imported needle cokes from the Western world. And the battery industry from the electrical vehicles is taking a certain amount of needle coke from the needle coke manufacturers. But in China, there are needle coke manufacturers now. Those qualities are able to meet the demand of the electrical vehicle industries. And some manufacturers in China have also done more than 5 years experiment on using those Chinese needle cokes to produce even larger diameter graphite electrode. We are also in that group. And the performance has been approved is good by using the Chinese domestic needle cokes. And there are about 6 numbers of new needle coke producers in China. They are in the pipeline to release the production to the market in the coming 3 to 5 years' time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ma.
Thank you very much.